Okay, we are recording. Welcome everybody to the third live bootcamp coaching call with Mike, the Ultimate, and myself. We're excited to be here with you guys. As always, we both have a couple things on our mind that we're going to talk about, and then we'll do a Q&A in which you guys get to take the reins and run this call. Tell us where you want, what you need, and where you want to go. We're excited for that. Couple things I want to talk to you about is clearly there's, as far as the people live on this call compared to our first call, quite a few people less. And I was just thinking about this, as leaders on your team, this sort of, you're probably in the same situation we're in, where it's like you wish everybody would come so that you could pour into them, right? And I know there are people who told us they've got things going on. There's reasons why they're going to get the replay, which is fine. Those aren't the people I'm talking about. But there are people who joined bootcamp, who invested the money, and who, for whatever reason, haven't shown up. And it's disappointing as trainers for us because we don't get the opportunity to really help them bring their business to the next level. Does this make sense? But it reminded me of a story. Maybe you guys have heard the story of the starfish. Does anyone know the story before I even start? Okay, so yeah, Julie does.
Can you mute everybody, Eric?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's muted. Okay. So years ago, I was, Mike and I have been in the coaching business for a long time. And we've been able to help a ton of people. And then there's been other people who haven't been coachable or haven't shown up or have given up or whatever. And it's, as a coach, now you guys also are coaches in your own way. I know some of you actually have the title. Some of you don't have that title, but you're coaches as well for your team. As a coach, it's easy to think about the people that you're not able to help. So a good friend of mine who's a real estate broker in Houston, her name's Deborah. She had this pin that she used to wear in her lapel, and it was a starfish. And I asked her one day, why do you wear the pin on the starfish? And she told me the story. So this is the story. For those of you who haven't heard the story, I'm going to tell it to you. So there's a picture of a beautiful beach, and the tide's coming in, and the tide has brought tens of thousands of starfish onto the beach. Okay? Just picture it everywhere. And now that the tide is receding, there's no pools or anything for these fish to stay alive. They're going to be exposed to the sun, where they will mostly perish, be eaten by birds, whatever, die from what do they die from? Drying out, I guess, right? Yeah. And so they're doomed. And in the middle of this huge wash of starfish is an old man who's picking them up one at a time and flinging them back into the surf. Along comes a young man who sees what this old man's doing, and he says, why bother? You can't possibly make a difference. There's so many to help. And the old man just calmly leans down. He picks a starfish up. He flings it into the surf, and he says, it made a difference to that one. Right? And so I love the story. By the way, Deborah gave me the pin. I still have it to this day. I love the story because as leaders and as coaches, we have to show up and make a difference to the ones we can help. Does that make sense? And we can't focus on the ones that are stranded on the beach. We have to help as many as we can. The same goes for your customers, and the same goes for the people that you're helping through your business. Cool? So, for my starfish that are here, swimming in your beautiful tide pool, I'm glad that you're here. We're going to pour ourselves into you guys tonight. And then we'll send you off into the world to go save your own pile of starfish, okay? So what I want to talk to you guys about tonight is creating advocates. Creating advocates. I was going to talk to you about staying strong, and we'll get to some of that stuff, because we're 10 weeks, what are we, 10 weeks in?
Yep.
10 weeks in. One thing I do want to say, though, for those of you starfish that are not here, that you're seeing this on replay and you feel like you are drying out in the sun, we've got two weeks left plus 4 weeks extra. That's 6 weeks. You got time to create a miracle in your business. You just got to start, okay? So I just want to say that to you guys. But I want to talk to you guys about creating advocates. We haven't spent a lot of time on this. I know I mention it here and there, and it's kind of an underlying thing, and I think I make some assumptions, but listen, when you're the reason why you build a relationship based business is more than just because it feels better. When you build a relationship based business, you create advocates. Okay? And, you know, an advocate is somebody who brings other people to your business. All right? They just do it because they love what you're doing. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about, actually, I'm going to give you some tips on how to do this. But I want you guys to understand something. There is this myth, and some of you are going to be like, you're controversial right now, but people think that network marketing creates a stream of, what do you call it? Compounding income that just compounds. Does anyone believe that that's true? Who's been in the business 3 or 4 years? Let me see your hands. Do you feel like it's compounding, or are you still hustling your tushies off to build this thing? Yes, it does compound, but it doesn't compound on its own, right? You have to work your tail off to compound it. But here's what I want you to know. True compounding income comes through relationships, and it comes through advocates. If you really want compounding income, it comes from advocates. It doesn't come from recruiting people to your team. I mean, that's part of it. It doesn't come from creating customers. That's also part of it. But it comes from advocates. Mike's nodding like, oh, this is some good stuff here. Mm-hmm. And I know he's got a ton of stuff he can add to this, because this is like, just breathing for us, this kind of stuff. But I realized today, while driving my car, oh my gosh, I need to talk about this with you guys. So how do we create advocates? Now, let me just give you an example of what I mean by an advocate. Let's say Janelle, because she always gives me a good smile when I use her as an example. Let's say that she is an acquaintance of mine, and I am starting to connect with her via Teamsy, right? Making her day. I want to get her smile. I already got the smile, so the first goal is done. And, I'm just trying to learn about her and get to know her a little bit. My first goal is to set her on a path to be my advocate. That's more important to me than her being a customer or joining my team. Why? Because the advocate will bring me more people. And you guys may have heard, how many of you have heard me mention and wondered what I meant when I said everybody in the world that you know will either be on your team, a customer, or an advocate, or a combination of the few. You've heard me say that. And I want you to know that this is a belief that I have when I'm talking to people. Whether it was my business, now it's about Teamsy, you're going to be an advocate for me. And here's what I mean. Janelle may or may not have any interest in my product that I'm selling. And she may actually really not ever want to join my team. But she will be my advocate. Why? Because I am going to infect her like a virus with my enthusiasm and my mission. Okay? So I just want to give you guys an example. Now, Susie, are you on this call, Susie? I know you were on my call 2 days ago, so I understand if you're not on twice. Susie, are you on the call? Let me see. She's not on the call. Okay. Susie Llewellyn's in this boot camp, and in the last boot camp, her husband Ron was in the boot camp. Does anyone know Ron Llewellyn? A couple people. And I talked about him briefly on the call the other night too, because he's an example of somebody that his story, his mission is amazing. Okay, so let me just share this with you guys real quick, little backstory. He inspired me today. That's why I'm bringing him up. And this is what's bringing this training on. So hopefully you guys get a ton out of this. Ron was in boot camp and he was crushing his numbers. Now, this may be, some of you guys may relate to this. He was crushing his numbers in boot camp, making tons of connections, really enjoying the process. And then he messages me and he says, Eric, I'm just not getting very many conversions. Like, I feel like I'm creating momentum and I'm loving it, but I'm just not signing people up. I'm just not getting that many people to purchase. And I said, all right, let's jump on a Zoom. He and I jumped on a Zoom and we talked it through. I said, tell me your story. He tells me his story. Now, this is somebody that was in boot camp 2 months. A lot of you guys, we're Facebook friends now. You've sent me friend requests. I see your posts and I'm getting to know you a little bit through, what you post on social media. I get to know you a little bit based on what you put in boot camp. And I start to feel like I know you, right? Some of you guys maybe feel that way about Mike and me. Well, here he's telling me his story, and it's a revelation. Sorry, sometimes I can't get the words out. It's like a revelation. I said, wow, I didn't know this about you. This is an amazing story. Here's somebody who has terminal cancer. Terminal cancer. Okay? And guess what? The doctors basically said, you're sorry, you're gonna die. We can manage your symptoms. So what does he do? He becomes the healthiest person ever. He's Juice Plus distributor, right? So he gets into that. He gets into the nutrition, gets into the greens, and you should see this guy's tower gardens. I mean, he's got like 3-foot long kale leaves coming out of the tower garden. It's amazing, right? He sends the cancer away. Cancer-free. Now, you guys know how doctors are. They still consider him a patient with terminal cancer, though right now it's not attacking his body. Is this an amazing story? It's an amazing story. Now, the reason why he's so into Juice Plus, what do you think the reason is? Okay, I'm like, you're on a mission to help other people like this. You need to tell people this story. This is why you're not converting. You're not getting people on your, they're like, oh, hey, Ron, yeah, it's great to hear from you. What a nice guy. No, they need to know you're on a mission. I came back from the dead, and I'm going to help other people do it too. Who do you know that I can help with this? Okay? I need you to know that this is, does this make sense? We were talking, Mike and I were talking earlier today, and we were talking about the Blues Brothers. Anybody ever see the movie The Blues Brothers? We're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God, right? You need to be on a mission from God. Your first goal is to get people on your mission. It's not to sell them a product or to get them on your team. It's to get them on your mission. My mission wasn't as amazing as Ron's. Mine was, hey, I lost 60 pounds. I feel amazing. Now I help other people do the same thing. As a Beachbody coach, that was my deal. I help people. My wife, who was never overweight, she's like a fitness guru. She was like, I'm in great shape and I'll help you get in great shape. We had different kind of customers. She didn't like the overweight people. Those were my people, right? She's like, I don't understand how they got overweight in the first place. They must be lazy, and I don't have patience for that. She wants like the heart. And I was like, no, they're my people. I totally understand how they did that. It's called beer and fried food. It was awesome, but now you don't feel it, right? So anyways, you get the idea. Now, here's why I'm sharing this. Today, Ron got way out of his comfort zone, and he told his story on Facebook in an amazing way. I'm going to share it with you guys. And what I don't want you to get from this is, oh, I just need to share it on Facebook. This is step 1 of 100. But this is the first thing. You tell your story, and then you tell your story every time you open your mouth. Every time you message, you tell your story. You got to get that passion out. You got to tell people about your mission. Are you guys tracking with me? Now, look, I'm going to share this really quick. Where is it? I've got a bunch of screens open. I think it's Google Chrome. Where's Google Chrome? Hello? Oh, there it is. I had this one open. I was going to give you guys a little hard time about being consistent. Mike posted this earlier this week, and I love it. If you aren't consistent, you can't say it didn't work. We already passed that. Okay, I got it right here, though. I got him right here. Here he is. Look, here's Ron and Susie. Look at how happy they are. Look, I'm just going to play it for a second. It was a live video. They're celebrating. Now, look, I'm going to read this to you guys, okay? First of all, look at this. 6 hours ago, this was posted. 380 responses, 33 shares, 2,000 views, okay? And Ron is not a Facebook super stud. He's just a normal guy. But this is how it went. Now, let me read this to you. He says, we're celebrating because doctors predicted I would be dead by now, but I'm cancer-free. 5 years ago, I was given a 12% chance of surviving metastatic melanoma cancer. But by the healing power of God, modern medicine, and the power of whole food, plant-based nutrition, I am cancer-free. 2 PET scans in a row have been clean. So with all of my heart, I want to thank all of my prayer warriors for lifting me up in prayer. I feel like my oncologist is finally noticing my faith, diet, and lifestyle and how they impact my health. Why? Because I keep beating the statistics. He told me only one person has lived 5 years on this new drug protocol I'm on, and he expects me to be the second survivor. I am so grateful for all the doors that have opened to teach me ways to give my body the best chance to stay strong and beat cancer. The office visit at the cancer center is, the office I visit at the cancer center is palliative care. Those can be scary words. Palliative means the disease has no cure. It is care to mitigate my side effects, but not cure anything. I have never accepted the idea that I am terminal. My pastor once preached on how people pray for answers and healing, and God opens doors all around them, but we don't take any personal responsibility to walk through those doors. It wasn't easy to make so many diet and lifestyle changes. I believe in God's healing, and I will continue to walk through doors he opens and be obedient to taking care of my body. Now, I'm so proud of him. I read this paragraph and I was like, you got it. Now I am on a mission to help others learn ways to heal their bodies and have hope. This pumps me up to tell everyone all I am doing. I know I have a responsibility to share with others who are suffering from any disease. It is time for me to pay it forward. Could you do me a favor? If you come across someone you care about that might need help, someone who is struggling with their health, would you connect them with me? I would love to help them. I know people are seeking solutions and hope. What if you connecting us made life better for them? It is all very exciting to think about. He's on a mission. Could you do me a favor if you come across someone you care about that might need help? Right? Now, enter in this part what you solve, what your mission is. How many of you are inspired from hearing this? Now, look, I read this to my wife today. My wife is the ultimate pragmatic person, and I am the ultimate, happy-go-lucky, optimistic one. We balance each other out. So I always ask her, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Did any of you feel like that story and the way he told it was a pitch to join his MLM? How many of you felt like he wanted to push those little vegetable juice capsules on you? You guys are laughing. This is what I'm talking about. You need to share your mission. Now look, he's an extreme example, extra amazing and inspiring. Some of you are thinking, my story is really not that inspiring. Maybe you sell eyelash extensions and you're like, how do I tie eyelash extensions into my mission? Well, why are you selling eyelash extensions? Is it to create financial freedom for your family? And what are you passionate about? Are you passionate about helping others create financial freedom? Get out of the incredible, humiliating burden of debt? Stop worrying about losing their job every time the economy downturns? This is just an example. I'm saying you guys need to get there. You need to figure out what your mission is. If you don't know what how many of you kind of already know what your mission is? And you're excited to share it. You need to share your mission. And every time you talk to somebody, you need to tell them, I'm on a mission. Okay? Charlani, you're right in the middle. It's like, I'm not on a mission to sell you a bag of Shakeology. I'm on a mission to help you get healthy. Do you know if you know anybody who needs help with weight loss, with their health, with their strength, their vitality, I would love to help them. Can you connect us? Now, what happens is you start to implant in people's minds the mission you're on, and you become the person they think of when they come across somebody who needs help with that. Oh, I know somebody who can help you with this. Does this make sense? Is this different than, have you ever been told, I know like 6 other people doing Beachbody, so what? They're not on a mission like I am, right? Does this make sense? The first step to creating advocates, guys, is you have to get on a mission from God and get people on your mission. It doesn't matter if they have no interest whatsoever in what you sell. If you are the queen of eyelash extensions and you tell me your mission is to empower women, to help them create financial freedom, to never have to experience what you've been through, and that you've already got 6 people that you've helped so far, and you want to do 6 more this month, guess what? I am so excited. Wow, that is so cool. That's going to be my response, not, I have no interest in eyelash extensions. Really, you can do that with eyelash extensions? Yeah, it's awesome. Next time somebody complains about their eyelashes, I'm going to go, oh, I know the queen of eyelash extensions. We need to connect you to her. Not only are you going to get the new eyelashes you want, but like she can dig you out of It's amazing. She's helping people. Does this make sense to you guys? You got to get on a mission and you got to share it. Now, here's the thing. I'm connecting, you're connecting, you know, you're sending your Facebook messages. And I know, you're getting better at that, right? Because you've been doing Teamsy now. You're connecting with people on Facebook, and so many of you, some of you guys, amazing leaders, people I have mad respect for all of you, but I'm just saying some of you have already done it. You've already built beyond 6 figures in your business. And some of you are still struggling with how do I transition to talk about my business? This is how you do it. You talk about your mission on every call, on every connection, on every conversation. Okay? What are you up to? Oh, you can say, oh, I'm a Plexus, I do Plexus. I'm a Plexus ambassador. Great. Because it's helped me do this, this, and this, and I can't wait to help other people. I'm paying it forward. I'm helping others now. It's helped me, now I'm helping others. If you know anybody who struggles with this, 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 and this, I want you to know I would love to connect with them and help them. And they're going to go, oh, that's cool. This is what you want, is you want the response to be, wow, that's really neat. Wow, good for you. Wow, I'm proud of you. Not, ew, another MLMer. Are you guys with me? I don't even know. I don't even know what points I'm saying, so hopefully you guys are getting good notes. If anybody's really good at taking down notes, send it to me later, and I'll next time I'll digest it into a workbook for you guys. Okay, so the first step is, I'm on a mission from God. Can you help? Now it's consistent contact. Step 2, creating advocates, consistent contact. And this is what you're doing in Teamsy already, right? You're doing this in Teamsy already, consistent contact, but I want you guys to do it from the mindset of, I'm training you to be my advocate. I'm training you to be my advocate. Not in a selfish way, not in a so you can help me way, but so that you can bring more people to my mission so I can help more people. Make sense? A lot of you guys are working really hard to bring people into the next boot camp. And thank you for that. I appreciate that. That is an amazing, we are honored and humbled by that. And we want you to be our advocates, but it's not because we want to be selfish. It's because we want to help more people. And you guys get that, which is why you're bringing people to us. That's the same thing that's going to happen for you. Every time you connect, hey, it's been a while since we connected. I hope you're having an awesome day. How are you? What's going on? And they connect and you talk back and forth. And it's like, hey, please remember, if you come across anybody who needs help with this, please connect us so I can help them. Okay, that planting the seed. This one of you guys asked me today about planting the seed. Should I lead with my product? Should I lead with the business? I forget who asked me, but it was today in our group. And my answer was, which one are you more passionate about? Now, for me, personally, I led with the products, and where I found team members was other people who love the product. That's just the way I was. Some of you guys are wired that way. Some of you are more wired as builders, which is great too. And so you're going to lead with the opportunity. But whatever your mission is, you got to let people know your mission. You got to let them know, why it's amazing. Like, why is it helping other people? If your mission is, my mission is to get rich, I mean, that doesn't work, right? It has to be an altruistic mission. But this is the thing. And then you remind people of your mission every time you go. This is what I'm doing. Can you help me? Specifically, I help with this. Do you know anybody who needs help with this? Now, what I found happened a lot was people would say, what about me? I need help with this. A lot of times when I would say, if you know anybody who needs help with this, they would say, I need help with this. Can we talk? And what I found was I started amending my little script to say, if you can think of anyone, or maybe even yourself, who needs help with this. Okay? And if they said, that's really cool, Eric, I will keep an eye out for that, that's still a win. Okay, because you're training them over time to be your advocate. There are people who are going to go, boom, I need help with that right now. Let me learn some more about it. And those people, you get going. You invite them. You follow up with them, right? I've estimated that when you're doing a really good job of connecting, that's 3 out of 20 connects will be interested in more. right? And then you might close 1 or 2 of those 3 over time to your business. That's a small percentage, but those are the right now people. What happens to the rest? You're working on making them advocates. Does this make sense? Now there's
Eric,
one.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Eric? I have a question with that. Like, what I've been doing is, connecting with friends, people who've moved away and so on, and doing the hi, how are you doing? While using your scripts and things like that. And so where in that conversation would, like, I feel like, if I share I'm on this mission and so on, and it's sort of like, well, that's why I've contacted them. And yet you're saying build relationships. So how does that come in when you're saying every conversation I'm supposed to share my mission?
Okay.
And say, hey, if you know anyone. So can you kind of clarify that?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you have a conversation and you're asking people about themselves, which is what I've been training you to do, right? You're asking them, how are you? They say, I'm good. You say,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
You say, oh, well, great. Well, tell me, well, what have you been up to? Give me an update. And so you draw it out of them. Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, whatever. And most people will say, what about you? What have you been up to? And that's where you tell them, well, I don't know if you know. I'm going to give you examples. I'm going to give you 3 examples that I would use. If you guys go back to week 2, I talked about your mission, the financial benefits, and the other benefits to your business are things you can lead with. But I would say something like, I don't know, we haven't talked in a while, but I recently lost 60 pounds. And it's hard. Really, you just lost 60 pounds? Wow. And then, yeah, it's been amazing. And I feel so good. I mean, it's such a difference in my life. And now I found that I have a passion for helping other people do the same thing, getting healthy, losing weight, feeling their vitality again. Oh, that's so cool, Eric. Okay. Not everybody. Some people don't want to talk. That's fine. Look, not every conversation is going to be a home run, but you have to think about it as, this person knows hundreds of people of whom I can help. And if I really want to help people, I can't be afraid to let them know what I do. I lost 60 pounds. Now I help other people do it. That's so cool. Yeah. So, how are you doing that? Well, I'm a Beachbody coach, or I'm a Plexus ambassador, or I'm a Juice Plus distributor, right? I'm just looking at your faces and seeing me hitting. I do Lavelle. I help people get healthy and fit. Like, look, whatever it is, that's the mechanism I'm doing it. And if you come across anybody, Maya, who ever needs help with this, losing weight, getting healthy, building strength, whatever it is, I want you to know this is my passion, and I'd be happy to help your friends. Just connect us. I'll get them any information and see if they want to work with me, and we'll go from there. Wow, that's great. So does this make sense? Now, you may get people where they tell you everything about themselves and they don't ask you about you. Has that happened to you guys?
Yes, it has, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when you just tell them anyways. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Me personally, lately, I've been doing this. People do that, right? In conversation, if you don't ask about them, they're like waiting for just do it anyway. Here's the thing. What I have found is people will be inspired by your mission. Now, if all you say is, oh, well, I have a passion for skincare, and so I'm selling it now. Great. You gotta give them a little more. Does this make sense? You have to tell them how you're helping people. You have to tell them your story. How did it help you? I could flip this switch and talk about finances. Some of you guys have seen my why training. Well, after the recession and I lost my job in that last recession, we stopped saving money. And for 6 years, we didn't save a penny. I suddenly found a way that I was able to start putting money in the bank. It's been amazing. Now I don't even have a job. I work from home. I'm with my kids all day. It's so cool. And I help other people do it too. I can go in different directions. Does that make sense? And usually I might share a little different piece of it depending on what I heard in the conversation. But the point is sharing that mission, sharing what you're doing. Don't be afraid of it. Don't think of it as I'm trying to sell or recruit them. Think of it as this is how I help people. And this person may be interested, but for sure they could be my advocate. Does that make sense? And so a lot of these
Yes.
conversations you guys have been having back and forth, if you look back on it, you're like, wow, I missed that part. And I take some responsibility for that. I know in the trainings I tell you guys, share your passion, what you do and why you're passionate about it. But today it just kind of hit me. And I thought of that. Earlier I had thought about that movie, the Blues Brothers. And then Ron actually put those words, and I think I might have said those words to him when we talked before, but he actually put those words in his post, I'm on a mission. And it was like, this is what I have to talk about tonight. Just hit me, So I encourage you guys to do that. Look, you're going to fumble all over this, and it's going to be like, and people are going to be like, you're weird. You said that weird, whatever. You're just going to work it out until you get it down, till you get used to doing it, right? You refine it down, you make it a script in Teamsy, and it's there, and you're ready, and you're tagging that. You take those, planting a seed, which is this, basically, remember the planting the seed that I gave you guys in week 2? You're planting that seed constantly, but it's based not on like just what I sell, but what I do, how I help. And that will be their response. Wow. Now, I'm going to give you one negative example. There's always a negative example, right? So there's this, Mike and I worked together in our previous career in the real estate industry, and we helped, just like we're doing now, we helped real estate people, and we had a large community of people who loved what we did, and they were our pals, whatever. So when I started doing the Beachbody thing, there was this one man who I'd known for 10 years. And I was trying to strike up a conversation on Messenger with him. And it kind of fizzled out. And then he came back on Teamsy, I think maybe 60 days later. And when I went back to message him, he had unfriended me. Does that happen to you guys? So I messaged him anyways. And at first I sent him a friend request. Like, well, that must have been an accident. So I sent him a friend request. And then I messaged him. And he came back to me and he said, hey, Eric, I'm sorry I had to unfriend you because since you stopped doing real estate related topics, your posts are no longer relevant to me. Have I told this story to anybody in this group? Mike's heard it a couple times. And so that ticked me off pretty big. Can you imagine? Would that make you guys mad? How many of you guys would take that with grace and poise? No, I was mad. And I started thinking about all the things I'd done for him and his wife over the years. And, I even said to my wife, I have shirts that still have mascara stains on it from her crying into my shoulder. And he unfriends me over this, type thing. But when I regained my composure, so I just want you to know, I'm just like you guys. When I regained my composure, I thought, I am not letting him off the hook that easy. I mean, so I went back to him and I told him, I said, well, look, I appreciate that. That's totally understandable. I said, I just want you to know where I'm coming from. Since I've lost the 60 pounds, it has completely changed everything in my life. Not only physically, but emotionally, mentally. I'm clear, I'm energetic, and I'm on a mission to help other people do the same. Could you think of anybody who needs help in this area? Can you connect me to, I understand you don't want to, you don't want to subscribe to my post, but can you think of anybody who I could help with this? And guess what? He gave me 2 names. He gave me 2 names of people I could connect with. And it was such a victory for me emotionally, because first I was just really hurt and mad that he would do that. And then I thought, bam, this stuff works. Because guess what? He didn't even want to be my Facebook friend, but he was my advocate. He was my advocate. I turned him into my advocate. Your posts are not relevant to me, but now I got him thinking, anytime I come across somebody who needs this, I know who to send them to. Does this make sense? And you cannot deprive the world of your help because you're scared to tell people about your mission.
Amen.
The number 3 piece to this, and I feel like this goes without saying, but obviously it doesn't because I have to say it. The number 3 piece to building advocates is you have to provide excellent service. You have to provide excellent service. Nobody wants to be an advocate for somebody who does mediocre service. Does it make sense? you have to make, okay, and I'm going to give you the secret to excellent service. You ready? Excellent service isn't giving the customer everything they want. Excellent service is when your customer always knows how much you care about them. That's a different training. We could do an hour just on that, right, Mike?
Yep. Yes.
They just need to know how much you care about them. In fact, we often, Mike's told me that I need to do my excellent service training. I used to help train the service reps at our old company. I need to simplify it though. It's like the 23 steps to excellent service. But look, we used to tell people, just want you to know at some point in the relationship, I'm going to give you guys this. This is a great dialogue. When you're bringing on customers, you can tell them, look, I just want you to know at some point in the relationship, something's going to happen, whether it's because I made a mistake or whether it's because corporate made a mistake or they shipped something wrong and something's going to happen that's going to tick you off. And I want you to know in advance, that's not my intention. And I will help you fix it. I don't have control over everything, but I'm always going to have your back. I'm going to be here to help you through that process. Okay. So if anything comes up, I need you to connect with me so I can get on the solution side with you. And so a lot of times people are like, okay, cool. That's great. Because then what happens is when corporate delays their shipment, or they send a package with a knife tear through the bag of product, or has this happened to you guys? Or they double bill somebody or whatever, it's, hey, remember we talked about this could happen in the beginning? I don't want you to stress over it. Let me get to work on it for you, right? So it's just, you gotta have excellent service. You gotta share your heart with people. They need to know your heart is in it for them. Now, this is gonna make a lot of sense to them when you lead with your mission, when you lead with how you're here to help. And then when they become your customer, they're gonna understand. Now they're part of that mission. Does this make sense? So, okay, review, so I don't talk all night on this. Get on a mission from God. I'm on a mission from God. How can you help? Point number 1. Point number 2, consistent contact. Consistent contact, what you're doing through Teamsy. But you're not just in contact, you're sharing your mission consistently, reminding them what you're doing so that they can become an advocate for you. And number 3, you got to provide outstanding service. Sorry, I got a little bit passionate up in here tonight.
Great.
I feel like I'm preaching. It's all good though. But I think some of you guys are missing this piece. And, Mike suggested tonight I address those of you who feel like you're doing the activities and you're not getting the results. And where I would actually, next week's training is specifically about that, right? And there's dials you can turn. How many invites are you doing, and how many follow-ups are you doing on people who've been interested? Are you following the 10 follow-up system? Are you doing those things? That's all true, but what's the missing little piece, that extra spice, is getting people on your mission and building advocates. Now I'm just going to show you this slide. This slide is not pretty. It was not fixed up by our marketing guru. Where are you? Hold on. They just updated Zoom again, and it takes me like a year to get caught up on it. Hold on. Get this up so I can see it. There it is. Let's try it now. So in traditional network marketing, it's a numbers game, right? And it is with relationship marketing too. But it's a numbers game. It's like, hey, you need to contact 200 people, invite them to something. You're going to get, 5 of them are going to say yes. You're going to follow up with those 5, convert them, and now you've got a team. Now you keep doing it. But what happens in the traditional approach with the cold invite or whatever is the people that you didn't convert tend to be a little skittish towards you now, right? Some of them are outright, they don't want to deal with you anymore. And you feel like you're damaging relationships. You feel icky. It's not you. That's why you guys are here, right? For the most part. Let me just show you the difference. When your focus is on building advocates instead of recruiting customers and recruits, here's what happens. In that situation, you do 20 connects. Let's say you get 10 responses. Out of the 10 responses, you're doing great. You're generating 3 invites. Out of the 3 invites, you get 1 conversion. Now, those are the numbers that you see all the time. But what's happened here with this process of building relationships through the process is, yeah, you got 1 conversion. Great. But you're building 20 advocates. This is how the compounding income happens. So right now we're focused on the 1 conversion. Hey, I connected with 20 people down the road. From those 20 connects and conversations, I'm hoping I'll get 1 conversion. I'm doing this every day, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. And over time, those relationships compound, right? Let's say you get 1 person, out of those 3 invites, you got to follow up 10 times. That may take a while to go through that 10-time process before you convert the one. And it's like, then the conversions start coming through. Okay. And then it's like, wow, my business is huge. And you hear people telling stories like, oh, I ranked up, or I went up, or now I went from, 80,000 to 200,000. And I'm thinking of like the Laval, they do it by the volume or whatever. And it's like, that's really cool, because you're thinking about that 1 conversion that's happening every time you do 20 connects. But what's really happening underneath, which is the amazing part of this process, is those advocates that you're building. And then it starts to be so easy to generate new leads, because they are literally being handed to you by people constantly. Does this make sense? All right, one more little story on this, and then I'm going to hand it over to Mike, because I'm probably beating you guys to death with the dead horse right now, right? But I just want to share a story because it's kind of funny. So I just want to clear something up. A lot of you guys think that I was like the superstar diamond coach at Beachbody. I wasn't. I was a Beachbody coach for a year building my business. And then I had to shift my focus to Teamsy because it started taking off. Okay. But what happened was and I know I've got at least one. I know I've got a couple Beachbody people on this, and you guys from all different networks. So I started doing the business, and I had no idea anything about network marketing. I did not even understand the comp plan at all. Okay. I just want you guys to know I was not a guru. I knew how to build relationships, and I knew the system that I teach you guys. So I started connecting with people, and in my first 30 days, I got the first, major rank, which was Diamond Coach. I got it my first month, and I didn't know that was a big deal. And I was 6 weeks in the business. I went to the national convention. It was nearby. It was in Las Vegas. So I could just drive to it. I went to the convention. They gave me this little medal, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, you're a Diamond Coach." I'm like, "Is that a big deal?" I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing. And so when I got back from convention, which was great, by the way, I love going to conventions. By the way, I'll go to all your conventions. Invite me, I'll come to them. Especially if you let me speak, I'll really come to them. But I got back home, and then I got this message from corporate. And they're like, "Hey, congratulations. We're going to put you in a group of other Diamond coaches. You can synergize." And right. So it was kind of cool. You guys ever have those groups where they put you in like a leader group from corporate, right? So I get in this leader group, and there's 20 or so Diamond coaches from all over the western half of the United States in this group. And I realized within about 2 minutes, I don't know squat about this business. These people are so knowledgeable, and they're talking about volume and all these things. And I'm going, I don't even know what that means. So what happened was the administrator of the group who works for the sales team at corporate said, "Everybody take a call each week, and you're going to teach us on a topic." And so everyone was picking topics, social media marketing, whatever, topic that you're going to do a training on. And he says, "Eric, which one do you want?" I said, "I'll do recruiting." And everyone was like, "Oh, good." Nobody wanted to touch that one, right? So when I get in to do recruiting, this is so funny. I get in to do recruiting, and I do this whole thing about duplicating customers, how to take customers and turn them into distributors, and staying in touch with your customers and connecting with people to create advocates and get referrals. And everybody thought I was a complete lunatic. They were like, "That's not going to work. How's that going to work? You're going to just talk to your customers and get more customers." And what's amazing about it is I was kind of embarrassed by it for a second, because these people obviously have been doing it longer than me, and they knew more than me. Does this make sense? You guys may actually take some of these concepts I'm teaching you and be in the same situation where you share it with people who are experienced, and they say, "That's silly. That's not going to work," or that, luckily Mike was there and he reminded me, how many thousands of people have we helped build businesses with these principles? Principles don't change just because you're doing a different product, you know? So you need people like that in your life to remind you of what you know is true. But I just thought it was funny that when I was in that environment, people thought I was kind of nutty. And now, by the way, we've had, you know, how many Beachbody coaches that we had go through, use Teamsy and use the system now? Like 40,000.
Oh my gosh. That's one of the biggest numbers. Yeah.
So, and I've had the honor to train, you know, many superstar diamond coaches, which is the big rank, and their teams. And now they love the concept, right? It's just so, but anyways, just kind of a funny story because it's just so outside of the box of what everybody thinks of. And was anybody on my training that I did for your teams a couple nights ago? You know, when I talked about how 85% of business is generated by word of mouth, 85%. And we focus all of our energy on that little 15%, which is like traditional marketing, you know, meeting strangers on social media, all that stuff. Isn't that funny? So 85% of business comes from word of mouth. Those are your advocates. Word of mouth, though, sounds really passive. You're not going to sit around waiting for people because you're in contact with them. You're training them. You're reminding them, and you're asking them, who do you know that I can help? Who do you know that I can help? Make sense? So that is my passion tangent for tonight. Go build some advocates. And if that was the missing piece, you feel like that might have been the missing piece, I hope you guys will apply that tonight. If you want to go, you know, read Ron Llewellyn's post again and really go through that, because he got every element of the story in that. And you can tell your story in a very similar manner, right? He did a live video. His live video was really lighthearted and fun to watch, made people happy. I mean, it was just, he nailed every little aspect. Later on, I messaged him and said, that was amazing. And he told me how uncomfortable he was doing it. This is kind of like getting naked, right? Telling people your struggle. One last thing I'll say on this, because I really do have to stop talking about it. But one last thing I'll say about this is, don't laugh at me, Julie, is you'll be uncomfortable with getting vulnerable sometimes. But you have to understand that your giftedness comes from your pain. I know a lot of you are people of faith, and even people of faith say, how can I be allowed to suffer when there is an all-knowing God who loves me? And I want you guys to know, because I believe we are here to help others. And the only way we can be of help, the only way we can discover our giftedness is through our own suffering. And where you have suffered is where you have the ability to help others. And that's why your mission is so important. And that's why you can relate to people who are going through what you've been through. Does this make sense? So yes, it's vulnerable. Yes, it feels like you're exposing yourself. But this is how you get to help the most people. Now, side benefit to helping most people, business booms. Okay? The business booms is the side benefit. It's like the healthy lifestyle is what you do, and the healthy life is the side benefit. Make sense? Okay. All right, Mike, please take it from me so I don't keep talking.
I have to follow that. Thanks, Eric. That's awesome. Great stuff. And funny thing is, in the afternoon too, and I love how things work together, something came to mind that I've been wanting to talk about that actually dovetails really well into this. My topic was totally different than what we talked about earlier today. But a couple things on this, and then I'll share a practical piece that dovetails into this. Is, you've heard me say you don't need more words, you need less fear. Maya asked the question about how do I introduce this, and in the back of your head, most of you are still thinking, again, I'm an advocate for understanding what true sales is and how to be a true salesperson. But in the back of your mind, when you're sharing these things, you're still thinking, "Ooh, they're going to think I want them to buy something." And here's the deal: why we're advocates of personal growth and development, why most of your companies are advocates of personal growth and development is because to grow your business, you have to grow yourself. But also what comes with this is learning how to be authentic, learning how to be who you truly are. So here's the deal. Everything comes down to motive. If your motive, you check your motive before you enter the relationship. And if your motive is to help somebody, no matter how bad you screw up the dialogue, no matter how awkward you are, if you're truly, or if your motive is to help them, it's going to be authentic. It's going to come through. They're going to know, even if they're on the defensive. They can't say, "Ooh, she came at me and he came at me with, trying to hit me over the head with this sales thing." So continue to work on yourself. If you're struggling with doing that, work on yourself and work on that personal growth and development. One of the quotes I shared with you at the very beginning was, if you want to double your income, triple your investment in personal development and professional mastery. If you want to double your income, triple your investment in personal development and professional mastery. And that's Robin Sharma. Mm-hmm. So if your motive is pure, you don't have to worry about coming across as the icky salesperson. So, and if you're not sure about that, then strengthen your confidence, read some things and affirmations, and read things that are going to build you up, and read things that are going to help you, and listen to things that will help you. One other quote that I love, one of my favorite people, thought leaders and business gurus and whatnot, is Simon Sinek. And he has a quote that says, "Working hard for something we don't care about is called stress." Working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Mm-hmm. And Eric talked about passion. And if you love what you're doing, and again, a lot of you are amazing. You blow my minds about how much you work. And most of you have written some type of, that have a day job, so to speak, have said, "Hey, my goal is to make enough to retire my husband or retire myself," or whatever the case may be. And so some of you are working in an environment where you have the stress of working for something maybe you care about, but you don't love. But here's the deal. If you care about all the things that relate to the products and the services and the things you provide, that's a passion. And what Eric's point is, that passion needs to come through in a real way. So working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. I'll post that quote here in the next couple of days, just so we have it. My few minutes I want to spend on something that popped in my head as we were contemplating, and again, it goes back to this in a different way, how to create advocates, how to be passionate, how to be upfront. Is this question has come up, but Eric and I have really never spoken on it directly. It's always been an answer to somebody asking, "What about this?" or "How do I do this?" And the question is about social media, and the question is about how you present yourself on social media. Because here's what we see. I see tons of Instagram profiles. I see tons of Facebook profiles, and so does Eric. Obviously, the people we're friends with, you friend us, but even beyond that, we're looking at clients, customers, and we see tons of people. And there are two extremes. One extreme is, and this is actually a minority, but one extreme is where every single post is a corporate ad or is some kind of a product. Every single post is not really adding value. It's just like, here are the products I have, here are the products I have, here are the products I have. That's one aspect. The other aspect is nothing at all. Meaning, if I go to your profile on Facebook, I don't know what you're passionate about because you don't have it on there. Now, again, we had somebody at different times, but we have people that share us, "Well, we were taught to do that because if we put the name of the company that we work for, that we're an advocate for, that we love, then somebody's going to go Google that and see that there was some kind of goofy thing, or the first thing that comes up is negative information." And the reality is that may be true, but that's not you, mm-hmm. Right? If it's the right people, if it's the people you're friending and building relationships with, and they know you're passionate about what you're doing, then you saying, "I'm an ambassador for this company," or "I'm a consultant for that company," isn't a turnoff. And on the flip side is, how can you say you're passionate about something when nothing about your business shows up in a profile, or nothing about your business shows up in a proactive, positive, passionate way? Does that make sense? So wherever you are on the spectrum, I'm going to encourage you to look at that. But the majority, especially on Facebook, the majority of the profiles I see of people that have come through boot camps or that are teams of subscribers a vast majority of them have nothing to do at all with, what they do. Even if it's, some people create, other companies and other websites that are more about fitness, and then, kind of feathers in there, even that. But right now, if you have nothing about your product or your service or your passion, more importantly, that represents who you are, it's actually the flip side of building trust. Because if I go to yours, you message me, I go, oh, I haven't heard from so-and-so in a while. Let me go see what they're doing. And they go to your profile and they see nothing about that, but then eventually you get into a conversation. It's actually antitrust, because you haven't demonstrated that, it actually demonstrates more of an ulterior motive subconsciously than it does if you were to actually be upfront and say, this is who I am. So I hope that helps. And then there's a balance, right? The balance. And this is why I love how Eric teaches about, what to do on social media and the hire and how the posts and mixing up the posts. And you've gotten that training. So definitely do that, and definitely post the corporate specials and the things that come out. But that can't be your whole feed. On the flip side, most of you, because you don't want to be salesy, because you don't want to turn people off, you're actually pulled back too far. And again, I know teams, there's other trainers that train on certain things. We were out actually at a national convention a couple years ago, and somebody who's internationally known, who is in a different stratosphere, was on stage teaching something. I forget the term. It was like shadow social media or something like that. And it was like the new thing. It's like, hey, maybe you not be as upfront about what you do, and kind of create mystery. That was the thing. And that this person's up here, a multi-millionaire, and didn't do it herself because she's known now. And so that was kind of an interesting thing, because there's always new things. My point in that is you'll hear different trainings, and obviously we are not the end all and be all to everything. But here's the deal. If you do decide that you're going to build your legacy, your business, and your future in a relational way, every aspect of what you're doing has to coincide with building trust, has to coincide with relationship, has to coincide with being authentic and being truly who you are, and not being afraid of that. Because the people that are actually turned off by that are probably not your customers, and they're probably not going to be your advocates either. So percentages of how many people you need to believe in who you are and build a relationship with, it's not everybody. It's not everybody. But the people who do, they need to know who you are, what you're about, why you're about that, and why you're passionate about that. That makes sense.
I see Amanda says, I've heard it being called creating curiosity. And here's my thing. Like, this is Mike knows that I'm very passionate about this. And when we were at, when we were at National Convention, this was somebody that we respect. When they started teaching this, I was like, look, I'm curious to know. I'm looking at, look, Cheyenne's got her camera off right now because she's been sick and she probably doesn't want us to see her right now. But look, her little picture, Millionaire Club. I'm curious to know how the hell she got in the Millionaire Club. Do I need to not know that she's a Lavelle, that she's doing Lavelle? No, I can see that she's doing Lavelle. There she is. Hey, girl. Look, I'm more curious to know how she got in the Millionaire Club, aren't you? Like, why hide that? When I was doing Beachbody, we got the free vacation every year, like the Caribbean cruise, trip to Cancun, whatever, like the free vacation. Like, I'm telling, look, I am on a vacation. It's paid for by Beachbody. Because I'm a Beachbody coach, this vacation is free and it is fabulous. Aren't you curious to know how you can get on this free vacation next year? You can build curiosity by being upfront and honest and telling people the truth. Aren't you curious to know how I lost 60 pounds? Aren't you curious to know how I helped my friend do the same? Aren't you curious to know how my friend of 15 years who's been on high blood pressure medication, she's not even 50 years old, is now off high blood pressure medication? Aren't you more curious about that? So look, I get passionate about creating curiosity. Create it the right way. Tell people what you're doing. Tell them how you're helping, how you're changing the people around you's lives. That's how you create curiosity, right? And if you have to trick people into being interested in your business, and then what, you're going to train your downline to do the same thing? How fast are you going to grow a team of people tricking other people? I mean, not everyone's good at that, right? Just saying, as Mike would say, we're not the end all be all. People do that stuff and they work and they build big teams, and you can build big teams that way too. You got to figure out, I love the way Mike said this. It's got to be congruent with who you are. It's got to be enjoyable for you, and it's got to be something that's sustainable for you and your team long-term. That's got to be your approach. It's got to hit those three things. So, yeah. See, you think that we're just going to wind it down after 10 weeks? No, we're winding it up. We're winding this boot camp up, not down, you guys. Plus, it's fall. Let's crank it down. Let's go. I'm fired up, Mike.
Yes. Let's get some questions.
Yeah, do you guys have any specific questions on what we covered or anything? It doesn't matter.
Mike, this is Tammy Carruthers. I have a question. You're talking about your profile, showing up, letting people know who you are and what you do. Are you talking about by the way that you post, or your actual, like, hey, I'm a mom, I'm a, whatever, when they first go to your page?
Yeah, I'm talking about your profile communication of, who you are and that sort of thing, or your job, there's occupation on Facebook, that kind of thing. I'm talking about that. And then, of course, the feed too. If you do hire, then you don't have to worry about that in 411. But yeah, I'm talking about, like, if I go to your page and you're saying all the things you are, so many people have nothing about the fact that they're a company, or I have to even their feed. And again, these are people coming in to learn, and that's great. But even outside of Teamsy subscribers, it's still something I see very, very common in most profiles, and in the vast majority. And the other flip side of that is people who are doing really well. Again, not a one-to-one correlation, but people who have, are leaders and are doing really well, typically have something that says, here's what I'm doing, and here's at least the company. And, and again, going back to Eric's point, you can communicate that in a way that I'm passionate about helping people live better lives, through nutrition or health or through whatever. So.
And then you say what that company, see, I've done it. I'm not doing it correctly. For the reason that you said, thinking that, oh, they're going to go to my page. If you're reaching out to someone, that you haven't talked to in years, and then all of a sudden they're going, well, what the heck is she doing reaching out to me? And they go to my page. Oh, she sells whatever. I guess that's the kind of the way I think about it. But I love what you're talking about. I mean, it's true. Why not? Because you're being deceitful if you don't. I mean, right. Now that you said that, I do feel that way, because I did feel like I was trying to hide something. I mean, not really trying to hide it, but that makes a lot of sense. So then do you put your website right up there, or do you?
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Here's you only hide things you're ashamed of.
God, isn't that the truth?
You only hide things you're ashamed of. And if you hide, look, I'll tell you right now, there's people in this group right now, because I've seen your things, that say I'm a holistic health coach. And I go, okay, we help holistic health coaches from several companies. Which company is this person from? And I have to go look up in Teamsy to see what version you're on to know. Some of you guys have booked team calls for me, and I have to go into Teamsy to figure out what version to demo, because I don't know from your Facebook page or from your Instagram page. Yeah, put your website and tell people what you're doing. Don't be ashamed of it. Now, look, here's the thing, Tammy. If you message me and say, out of the blue, I haven't talked to you since high school, and you say, hey, Eric, how are you? Hope you're having a great day. Just think, you crossed my Facebook feed. And I'm going to click on your page, and I'm going to go look at your Facebook page, and I'm going to see what you do. Now, I might think, oh, that's why she's messaging me. Now you get to prove me wrong by just having a great conversation, engaging and caring about me. Does that make sense?
Over time.
But it's also an opportunity, because the fact that they're going to click and go to your Facebook page from that message is a huge opportunity for you. Before they even hear from you, they can see your passion. They can see who you are. They can see what you're about. They can see your story and go, wow. And that's the way you need to look at it. When you send people a message, you should want them to click on that, and you should want them to get that information. And then when they, the few skeptical people, because they've been burned many times, maybe by you 2 years ago and you forgot or whatever, that's why our apology script is there. They're going to be waiting for the shoe to drop. And when it doesn't, when they just see, wow, that was really great conversation, or she's really caring, or I'm really excited about what she's doing, it's different. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I mean, I've gone back and forth with that over the years, changing it back and forth. And then I even sneak over to other people's pages and see what the people who are making a ton of money do. And you just see so many different things, but that makes so much sense. And I appreciate that.
And there are people making a ton of money who have hidden it. I don't want you to think that that's, you said I'm doing it incorrectly. This is the way that's congruent with what we're teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And relationship marketing is a lead generation system. There's many lead generation systems. I just happen to feel like this one for me is the most congruent. And I think it's the easiest one to duplicate, because I think you'll find more people who want to work relationally than who want to go the other way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think the best way.
It's not a turn off to me. I'm sorry, Mike. It's
No,
not
no,
a turn
please.
off to me when I go to someone's page and I see that they do whatever it is that they do. I don't automatically think that the way that I'm thinking that they think about me. So I don't know why, so that makes sense. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No. And I was going to say to that point is, so one, we believe in the relational sense, it's disingenuous. On the flip side, here's the litmus test. Just going back to the thing I said about motive. The litmus test is saying, does this represent who I am authentically? Does this represent what I care about, who I am, what I'm passionate about? It's family and all the different things. That's the question to ask is, does this description of who I am on Facebook, which is, again, is not you, but at the same time, is it less than you right now? And is it less than transparent as far as this is who I am? Unapologetically, right? If somebody thinks poorly of you because you work for a company that they had a bad experience with, that's not on you, because that's not your motive. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
Well, heck, everybody else, I mean, if they work for GE or, a dental office or whatever, they put it up there what they do too.
Exactly.
Think about it. So, all right, cool. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Does it matter if it's in the little bio section or if it's in the about details? You know what I mean? Like there are a couple of places that you can.
I would put it in about, personally. I would put it in about, because that shows up when you message somebody, by the way, too, it shows up like your about description will show up a little bit under that first message. So use that strategically, right? Figure out like, what are them, I see these all the time and I absolutely love them. I've seen so many people who write them so well that before I know anything about you, I've just read that little descriptive sentence and I'm like, I love this person. They'll say something like, mom, wife, Jesus lover. Like they'll list a bunch of stuff that describes them and you get a feel for who they are. Like, so make sure you do that. But put it in there. Like, so if you have a website, that link to your website should be there. This is what I do. I help people this way. Boom. Here's my website. Here's my, however you do it, message me, you have all that stuff in there. It should be there, I think. So play with it, just play with it and try different things, but here's the thing. I've never said it out loud till I said it to you, Tammy, but I think it's really powerful to say we only hide what we're ashamed of. So on the flip side of that, what are you proud of?
Yes.
And everything that you're proud of should be listed there.
Yes.
And a couple of those are going to be your links to your website and right? This is good stuff. Who's taking the best notes? You're going to send it to us.
I've got some good notes I'm going to send you. I've got like 4 pages written up right now that I'll be sending you pictures
Okay,
of
thank
shortly.
you. Yeah.
Wonderful.
We'll
you have at least one anal geek on the call tonight.
That's good. See, we get it raw and then we'll repackage it and make it really tight and smooth for you guys. And you go, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
That's how this
I'm Holly.
world of helping people works.
Okay, I have a question.
Hi, Holly.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't been overly consistent with doing my stuff daily, but I've been consistent. Had a couple of life issues get in the way of this. But I just finished coming off doing 20 farmers markets.
Okay.
I have gathered probably over 150 leads. I have contacted every one of these leads, and I have not gotten much response back at all. And I'm still doing the right thing. I'm feeling a little frustrated.
I'm glad you mentioned
down. That. Or yeah, just I'm questioning my entire self.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get you off that fence. I wrote something down earlier when Mike was talking, and I haven't mentioned it yet, and you bring it to me. And this is what I wrote down. When we were talking about building advocates, you need to start with your best people. Now, the people you're meeting casually at a farmer's market, you have no relationship with them. You've built no trust with them. They are going to be your coldest relationships that you have for the most part.
Okay.
So you're going to get very little from them. So if you guys remember, I don't know if you guys saw the post that I did earlier in the boot camp with the trees, the fruit trees. You've got the sapling with no fruit. You've got the tree that's starting to bear fruit, and you've got the mature tree that's laden with fruit. Holly, what you gathered at those farmers markets is 150 saplings.
Okay.
So you can shake them all day and not get fruit to fall out of them. But if you nurture them over time, they will bear fruit. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're going to get response is from your best people, your closest relationships, the people who already have some trust. You're going to get response sooner. Now, those people, going back to what we talked about at the beginning of this call tonight, some of those people are not interested in your product, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they love you. You have people like that?
I do.
Yep. Those people who love you, who are not interested in your product, you need to reframe your thinking and turn them into advocates.
Okay.
Get them on your mission. Get them thinking about who they know that needs what you need, what you do. And so those people will become advocates. You'll get fruit from that. Continue connecting with the people that you've met at the farmers markets. A few of those people will be interested right away and you'll get some sales, but those are just the long play. Put them in Teamsy, don't sweat it. When they come up on Teamsy, connect with them. Don't think about them the rest of the time. Okay?
So most of my rankings, my highest rankings are with the people from the farmers market, and my lower rankings are the people that I have in my Facebook.
Well, the people in the farmers market probably...
Should I rank them down and rank the Facebook stuff up more? Or?
If I bumped into you in the grocery store and said, "Hi, Holly," compared to if I bumped into you in the grocery store and I didn't recognize you.
Right.
That's okay. The people in the farmers market might not remember who you are. They're not going to be higher ranking than some of the people you've known that know you. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So, you know,
putting too much effort into them and not
you're
enough
putting more effort into the people who are less likely to convert. So what I would do is take a look at your list, and everybody that you feel like, I like this person, or I feel a connection with this person, I would rank them higher.
Okay.
Okay. Even if they've told you they're not interested. Because you want to just stay connecting and build those relationships, because they will be your advocates. They will be your advocates. It's so funny because I always tell the story of my friend Shasha, who messaged me for my birthday. It was a couple days ago, and she messaged me for my birthday, happy birthday. And I thought it's so funny that she's still in my life, because I talk about her story. You know, when I was doing the Beachbody business, I was all excited, and I was doing these challenge groups, getting people in the challenge groups. And there was a bunch of people like Shasha who jumped in that very first challenge group. They bought, so the way Beachbody works is, you know, they get a workout program and they get their nutritional supplements as a package. And then you help them. You do the workout program, right? You coach them through it. So I get her, she did it, she bought it. And like, she wasn't really interested in that. She did it because she wanted to support me. So she bought the package. She did the workout program. She liked the workout program, and she started bringing people to me. This is my friend so-so. This is my friend so-so. I said, Shasha, you should join my team. I can sign them all up under you. You might as well make the passive income. She says, no, I'm not interested. She was a successful real estate agent. She goes, I have my own business. I'm not interested in doing what you do. I love that you're doing it in the way you do it. And so I just want to support your business. She brought me, I think it was like a dozen people over that year that like came with their credit card in hand to buy a challenge pack, join a challenge group. She was lining them up for me. She was my advocate. She was not interested in the business. She just wanted to help me, and she loved what I was doing. And she knew that her friends would really enjoy these groups. She knew that they would enjoy it. Does this make sense? So she was somebody that I had a good relationship with. I wouldn't say she was like a great friend where, you've got your circle of friends. This was somebody who was a client who, when we were in town where she lived, we would have dinner with her and her husband. We might have a drink. Like, we weren't like buddies, but we had developed a trust and a relationship over time, and she wanted to support that. So you've got people like, does this make sense? So you got to think about people like that. To become, this is, I feel like I should have talked to you guys more about this, but I just wanted you to get in the habit of connecting and doing all the things that we'll be doing in boot camp. But you got to look back at those people who are warmer and spend more time with them first. Does that make sense?
And think about quality versus quantity. I mean, we hear that all the time, but this is a thing where your mind, you might be saying, this is 20 days of investment over these 20 farmers markets, and I got all these people. But the likelihood of them converting versus somebody who's actually in relationship with you already in some way, shape, or form, it's just not going to pan out. It doesn't mean it can't, but it's going to take more time. That tree has to grow, like Eric said. And some of those people are actually not even saplings yet; they're seeds.
80% of your business comes from 20% of your relationships. You guys have heard the 80-20 rule, and it's true in this business too. 80% of your business will come from 20% of your relationships. So should you be out lead generating? Yes, you need new leads, but focus 80% of your energy into the top 20%, and then what's left, you work on new leads. Make sense? That's why Teamsy's designed that way. Your 5 stars come up every single 30 days. Your 2 stars come up every 120 days. It forces you to focus more on them. And then you get to the point where you're so consistent like Tammy that your lists are empty, and now you got to lead generate. Because she's cranked through and connected with everybody over the last 60 days.
Well, I have a question, Eric. Over here.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Gina.
Hi. Okay, so I'm going to make a scenario with you're building your advocates, and yes, I put that I'm on a mission.
I love it.
And you've got somebody that is, doing your product with you, but they are too shy, too hesitant, too scared of other people's opinions or judgments in order for them to talk about what you're doing to other people. How do you handle, getting somebody like that comfortable that it's okay to be an introducer?
Here's what I would do. This is what I did. Send me their names and I'll do it for you. And like, who are the 5 friends? If you were me and they were your friend, who would you connect with right now? Give me their names. And what I would do is have her introduce me just on like Facebook message. And then I would talk to them about it. Here's what we're doing. Are you guys, would you like to learn more? And, typically if you can sign 3 people up to get going, and you put them on, look, I'm going to sign you up, put you under your friend. I just want to, she's new. So she asked me to chime in. Like, I would just do it. Get those first 2 or 3 people signed up for her, under her. So she has the confidence. She's got a little bit of income coming in each month. Right. And then that's how it's done.
So you're more or less meaning like do a little leapfrog. Like this is the person and this is me. And if they're closed mouth, just jump over them and make the contacts for them.
I mean, I did that a bunch of times. I mean, that's once I kind of figured out how to, remember I told you I didn't know the comp plan.
Yeah.
So then they have, so like the way Beachbody works is you get diamond and then you help other people get diamond, and that makes you a star diamond, right? So you get a star and then you get a second star and then you try to get more stars. So once I figured that out, I was like, man, well, I'm having trouble finding anybody that motivated. Do you guys ever find that sometimes? And I was trying to qualify for something. So I was like, okay, great. I need you to be a diamond next month. Give me your list. Let's build your business for you. I just did it. I was just like, look, just give me the names. I'll get it started for you. And then you just pay attention and just get it. Like, you got to make stuff happen. This is a totally different thing, and I would just connect with people the same way. Just show her, like, we just get on 3-way chats. And well, hey, we're doing this. I'm working with Janelle right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but she's lost 12 pounds. She's kicking ass. I have noticed. Well, we've been having a great time working on this program together. She mentioned your name and said, you might be interested in more information. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, what is it? What does it entail? Boom. Great. Now let me get you some information on this. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, that's different than just reconnecting with somebody on your Facebook list, because this is somebody that's being specifically referred by someone else. So it's kind of like you're getting a little bit of permission to talk to them about it. And you can, here's the information, here's what we're doing. I did a lot of free groups. So I would have a free group I could get people to opt into a free thing first. So, hey, we're doing, I've been working with Janelle on her health. We've been doing a lot of cool stuff. She and I are doing this fun thing next week. We're doing a water drinking challenge. She thought you might be interested in joining. You want to join our free water drinking challenge? We're just going to try to drink a gallon of water a day and hold each other accountable and do fun stuff and learn about hydration. Starts on Monday. You in? And then get her in the water drinking challenge. This is just an example. And then every single day in this water drinking challenge, I'm posting and I'm coaching and I'm showing who I am. And I'm dripping about the challenge group that's coming up.
All righty. Well,
and then when they say, yeah, I'm interested, to say, great, but I just want you to know that because you're Janelle's friend, I'm going to put you through under Janelle. And they're like, wow, that's really cool of you. And so now I'm stoked. So after this process, I can then set you free. When you've got your 3 people signed up, you're like, wow, this isn't that big a deal. And my friends like it, and that you kind of build confidence for those people that don't have it. Does this make sense?
Oh yeah, that's why I asked, because I knew you would lay it out so simply. Like, yay! Thank you.
I mean, sometimes if you want to rank up, it just means you have to rank them up, and sometimes you can teach them to do it, and sometimes you just kind of walk them through it. That's what I think. So, anyways, the bottom line is, as you become the leader and you master these processes of building relationships and you get more confident, you can imbue that confidence on your team. You can encourage people. And sometimes if you find that people on your team are lacking confidence, you need to look in the mirror and make sure that's not because that's what they're getting from you. Does that make sense? And back to what Mike said about personal growth and development. It's all about that. If you listen to any training from any top producer in any one of your networks, what's the first thing that comes out of their mouth? Personal growth and development. Do you think they're getting paid to say that? It's because they figured out that that's what's helped them get there. So she's got her stack. There you go. And by the way, we laughed at, you even have influence. Nice. You know how few people actually read that, and I recommend it constantly. Her little sticky note idea is actually kind of a fun idea. I'm visualizing a bunch of live videos tomorrow with the sticky note stuck on your chest that says I'm on a mission. Make sure your camera doesn't reverse it.
And at the very least, on your bathroom mirror, or on, somewhere to remind you of what you're doing and why you're doing it. Those things work too.
I have a confession to make about being very competitive, and I'm a very competitive person. And I have one team member who has signed up to start using Team Z. And I don't know who else on this call tonight has lots of team members on, or maybe they don't have any yet. But all I can say is I wish all my team members were on Team Z, because when I did that team report for the first time, where I could see where our numbers were, there have been times that I have not been able to enter my information until 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and my team member Dawn will do a screenshot and send it to me and say, "Are you sleeping? It looks like you're sleeping." And so I do the same thing to her, and it does help a lot. And so I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but this is my confession. The other night I sat down at 10:30 at night to enter my data, and I saw that she had 34 connects. So she had 2 little flames by her name, and I only had 1. And I thought, she's on my team. I can't be the loser here. I gotta crank it out so I can have more than her. So I sat there until I had more than her, so that I could show her that I'm her leader.
That's awesome.
But it was like the craziest thing. She goes, "Oh my gosh, we're very much alike." So it's perfect. So thank you for the little flames.
I mean, that's so true, because being a leader makes you better. If you're leading from the front, it makes you better. You would never, I mean, you guys joined Bootcamp and you have a better chance of doing some work than you would on your own, right? You've got an accountability partner. You've got us. We're looking. I looked at it today, by the way. 3 people so far in this bootcamp hit 100% for the entire bootcamp, which is amazing. But I looked at it today. But here's the thing. Nothing will push you more than, for example, coming into bootcamp and bringing your team into bootcamp. Because what are you going to do then? Not do the stuff? They're looking at that leaderboard every week, right? So leadership, you put yourself in a situation where you have to lead, it helps you too, right? That's why one of the things I tell Mike, like one of the biggest regrets I have not being able to be a Beachbody coach anymore is, man, I was in great shape because every day I needed to do that dumb workout selfie, right? Or that workout video. So I was in such great shape because why? Because I was leading people to do that. So that's a cool side effect, Julie, that she's looking at the team report. So here's the thing, as leaders, the more you can put yourself in front of your team, the better it is for you too. And then they follow your lead.
Awesome. Any other questions?
I have a question. And it is like when somebody gives you names as referrals and said, well, how do you go about contacting that person? Like, do you ask them to talk to them, and if they're willing to talk to you, or do you just contact that person and say, hey, George gave me your name, and go about it that way? How do you do that?
The best way is to say, would you mind quick introducing us on a group chat or a group Facebook message?
Mm-hmm.
And so they open up a message to both of you and they say, Eric, meet Maya. Maya, meet Eric. Maya, Eric is my health guru. He's been helping me with this, this, and this. And I thought you two should connect. That's it. Something like that. And you can give them the words if they don't know what to say. That's the best way to do it, because then you say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for connecting us. Great to meet you. I'll send you, I just sent you a friend request and we'll talk offline so we don't have to, make Maya go through this. Our conversation. Make sense? So that's the best way to do it, is you could just get introduced. Getting introduced is great because they'll actually respond to the message and they borrow trust from their friend.
And that's why we call them introductions versus referrals.
Yeah. So they feel like there's some trust, and it's not like a cold, you've already got half the trust built because your friend lent it to them. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, one tip, Charlani, I see your thing that your coach has 2 more SC points, and the quickest way I think that you can get more. You ready? All the people who did challenge groups in the past and canceled, they're no longer on auto ship. People who had great results. Start messaging a few of those, the ones you like the best, and say, hey, hey, we got this new program. It's awesome. You should check it out. And you'll get like a couple. I'm telling you right now, you'll get a couple. You like it? The people, like maybe a year ago, maybe it's been a while. So that's why I always tell you guys, canceled customers are still your customers, right? Canceled customers are still your customers. And when you need a couple more to make a bonus or something, that's where I always go, as the canceled customers. Hey, it's been a while since we talked. We got this new thing going on. I thought of you. I remember the results you got last time. And you go right to it. I'm doing this group. It's going to be awesome. We got this new program.
Great job, Donna. She said she had 5 previous customers join recently.
That's
Tammy,
awesome.
did you have another question, Tammy?
I do. Thank you. When you're dealing with, when you're making your connects with prospects, and they're, people that you haven't talked to in a long time, and how you just stopping by to say hello, how you doing, hope your day is awesome, that thing. And they come back and do their typical. I don't feel authentic when I start really asking them, well, what have you been up to lately? That kind of thing, to try to get the conversation going. It's easy for me to do it, of course, with people that I know better, but with someone that I really don't even know, but we're friends on Facebook, to say, well, tell me what you've been up to lately. So how do you handle that?
I'll be honest. There's people that that I didn't push hard because we didn't know each other that well. Because look, going back to the advice that I was giving to Holly, is the coldest people I'm spending the least amount of time on. Okay, so the coldest people spend the least amount of time. Send them a message, boom, the conversation doesn't work, fine. They're in teams, they're gonna come up again. Over time, we'll warm them up. Here, if you get nothing else from this call, I want you guys to get this. The people that are the farthest away from you, the coldest people, should get like 1 or 2 seconds of your mind share every 3 months. That's it. As soon as you hit the send message on that message, don't give them another second thought. Who cares? Move on to the next person. If they respond and you have a conversation, great. If they don't sweat it. Don't put them on your follow-ups list. You're just going to come back on Teamsy in a couple months. Okay? Don't give any thought to those people that are your coldest. Now, over time, they'll warm up, and every once in a while, somebody will go, "Damn, I've been watching you on social media. I love what you're doing," and you can get right. Does this make sense? So if they go, "Thanks for checking in," or and you just feel like, this, go, "Yeah, great," and then you just go, "Look, I gave him a smile. I succeeded. I'll talk to him again in 3 months." Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
And then there's other people though that you will connect with and you will catch up on, and you will have. Look, somebody came to me. This is a true story. When I first moved out to California. Well, I'm from California, but I moved to the East Coast for many years. When I came back to California in 2000, I had roommates, right? I was young. I had roommates, and one of my roommates, there was a couple that were roommates. They were a couple, and we shared an apartment. And I got a message out of the blue from this girl who was my roommate from the year 2000 to 2002. I haven't seen her since. So that's a long time ago. And she said, I saw Teamsy ad in my feed, and I clicked it because it looked cool. And then I saw you talking about fell out of my chair. And then she said, "Your family's beautiful. Teamsy looks amazing. I'm so proud of you." Now, look, have I talked to her since? No. She got all of that from social media. But because we were close friends at one time, we were able to quickly have a good conversation and connect. Does this make sense? So there's going to be people like that who you haven't thought about, where you do connect at a deep level right away because that relationship you had in the past reconnects. There's going to be people you have no relationship with that are just like, it's fine. Over time, you get there. And again, the stuff that you're doing with your higher posts and things like that, they're going to see those. You'll start building that trust through that social media connection. And then every time you message them and they respond, even if they respond with a thumbs up emoticon, which is, like the dreaded thing. If you send them a Facebook message, they respond with a thumbs up emoticon. Guess what Facebook does? It prioritizes your posts for their feed. Your posts are now, you're considered a very relevant person because they've had a Facebook Messenger conversation. And so they will see all your posts for a while. This is the cool thing about it. So that's why the higher posts, building trust on social media, everything Mike talked about tonight, being authentic, is important, especially with those people you're building trust with. Make sense?
I have a procedural question.
Oh, that sounds scary.
Well, I don't know what else to call it because, I was like on. And then Saturday and Sunday of last weekend, I was in the car for 14 hours driving to events and sitting in seminars. And, I didn't touch Teamsy for 2 days. This week, I am looking at a giant elephant of 73, 83 follow-ups that are like behind now 4 or 5 days, and it's freaking me out. And I hate that. And I know one little bite at a time you can get to the whole elephant, but I swear I just want to go into the upcoming follow-ups or whatever and just get rid of all of them because they're making me crazy. What is the best way to handle that?
The best way is to chip away and get them done. But if you want to clear them, there is a button that clears them if you want to let them go. It depends. Look, are these real follow-ups?
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at all of them because it freaks me out too much.
So my question is, are these people who have shown interest and you have invited them in a specific way to something and you're following up on it? Yeah, if so, you need to go. You don't want to let those go. If you put people on your follow-ups list because you connected or you missed or you want to know if they read your message or they're weak follow-ups, then let them go. They're going to be in your Teamsy flow and they'll just come back. It's fine. I want you guys to use the follow-ups for real follow-ups. The follow-ups is your pipeline of interested people. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Now, there's other examples where you put people on a follow-ups list because you want to make sure you talk to them tomorrow or whatever, which is great. But I'm saying, like, you're keeping people on your follow-ups list because they're the interested people. This Teamsy is automatically flowing your list for you. The follow-ups list are the people that you're working on a conversion for. These are people who put their hand up and said, yeah, I'm interested in learning more. I'm interested in the products. I'm interested in the business. And you are loving them through the process of getting them to that next step. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me this question and it made me laugh because if you've watched the training on follow-ups that I do in this boot camp or any of the time I've ever talked about follow-ups on a team call, I explain to you that people are not going to open your messages. But yet I have people even in this boot camp that get obsessed over, well, I messaged this person and it's not even showing open. Should I message them again? They haven't even opened the last one. I should message them again, right? How many of you guys have thought that? I want you to remember they're not going to open your messages, but they will always see your messages. Okay? They just didn't open it because they're not responding. That doesn't mean they didn't see it. Everyone sees a Facebook message. So you don't have to message them again. If they don't respond to your initial message, don't put them on your follow-ups list, and they don't deserve to be there unless they've expressed some interest and you've invited them to something. Does this make sense?
Even if they come back around, if they haven't responded,
message them again.
Message them again when they cycle through.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys the story of Mike, my friend Mike, who was a guy that I knew from my old business, and I messaged him, just my script, and he was a 3-star, so he showed up every 90 days. And then 30 days came up, he came up again. I don't spend any time thinking about the people who don't respond. I just messaged him again, the next message. I have my three different connect scripts, right? I just sent him the next one, and I didn't think about it. And then 90 days passed again, and he came up again, and I messaged him again, and nothing happened. And then he came up, now it's been a year. Comes up the 4th time, and I think to myself, should I even bother? Should I just take him off my list? How many of you guys would just take him off the list? I'm telling you this story because what happened was I messaged him again, and he responded and said, hey, Eric, great to hear from you. I've been watching you on Facebook, and I'd like to get involved. And he sent me the specific program he wanted and the specific supplements he wanted. He had gone and done all the research online. Now, here's the thing. Like, how many of you guys, going back to what Mike said, how many of you guys have been told, like, oh, well, you don't want them to do the research online and know everything? Like, that's the world we live in. He did the research online, figured out everything he wanted to do. He liked what I was doing, and then he said he wanted to be involved. And he said, can we talk this week? I want to come in as a distributor and do this program with you. Bam. Perfect. Yes, we can talk this week. Okay, so look, don't give up on people. Remember, it's going to take maybe 10 seconds of your life to message them again. Just keep them going. But you don't need to be following up with them every week if you haven't even talked or they haven't expressed any interest. Make sense? We should probably call this a night, right?
Yep.
You guys go on forever with us. Let's do one more question and then we'll say goodnight. If there's one more. Okay, well, perfect.
I don't have a question. I did wanted to say one thing, and that is, hi, I'm Laura. I'm the one that actually lived through Hurricane Florence
Oh,
recently. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for the training. Being passionate about something has really come through, especially this week with our community.
Mhm.
Um, Being able to have Teamsy and being able to connect with these people has given me a way to connect with so many strangers on Facebook that are in my community. And we have actually been able to help several families because of the connects that I have had through Teamsy.
wow.
Nothing to do with my company or business, but it's because they had a need and we were able to go and meet that need. So we really appreciate that. It's
Awesome.
come full circle, and it has just proven that it really is about relationships, building those relationships, loving on other people, just being there to
Mhm.
meet a need, whatever that need may be.
Mm.
So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Parting thoughts, Mike?
Yes. Well, this is obviously our last live call together for this boot camp. So I want to say on behalf of myself and Eric, thank you for trusting us. Thank you for the honor of serving you through this time. Well, we'll obviously be present in the next couple of weeks and beyond that, as he mentioned, after the end of 12 weeks. But it's truly been an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be with you in this time. So we appreciate that. We appreciate the introductions you've made to other people on your team, and we truly are honored. And Q4 boot camp is going to be awesome as well. The other thing I'm going to say is, action step wise, is utilize those last 30 days, the extra 30 days that you get. Have a plan for that. Go through, as you think about it now. Don't wait till end of week 12. Think about it now. Go, what are the 4 or 6 trainings that I want to review? Which ones do I want to review? And then put those in your calendar and plan for that. So many times we have people go, oh my gosh, I forgot what I did. I'm not caught up. Well, if you know you're not caught up right now, then plan for getting caught up by the end of the next 6 weeks, because you have 2 more weeks and then another 4 weeks after that. So that's the practical perspective, because we want you to get as much out of it as you can, but also it's not about learning, it's about doing. So put those skills into practice, and then the confidence and consistency is the 2 things you want to focus on, and you're going to continue to grow your business. This is the first 12 weeks of the next 12 months of the next whatever amount of time. So think about it from that perspective as well. So we love you, we appreciate you, and we're honored to be here with you.
And it goes without saying that you are all invited to join us again for Q4. I know some of you already have. We'd love to see you again. We're not done with you. But again, as Mike said, we're honored and humbled by the opportunity to be part of your success stories. So thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you got some value tonight. You certainly got us fired up. Have a great night. God bless you.
Take care. Bye.